Hey guys, and welcome back to Sailing with the Jameses. For the last few weeks, we've been on a pretty exciting mission. After 4 incredible years of living full-time aboard our sailboat, we're officially searching for our next adventure boat. We moved aboard when our daughter was just 12 months old, and now, 4 years later, we're looking ahead to the next chapter for our family. Over the past few weeks, we've traveled all over the country inspecting boats. We've flown down to Tasmania to look at long-range vessels and learned a lot about what we do and don't want in our next boat. This week, that search brings us to Australia's boatyard capital and vessel mecca, the Gold Coast. A boat recently hit the market that immediately caught our attention. The more we looked into it, the more we felt it was worth jumping in a car, driving 8 hours for an in-person inspection. But as anyone who has ever bought or sold a boat knows, things can change very quickly. By the time we arrive in the Gold Coast, the situation has changed dramatically. A single phone call would turn this entire trip upside down. Come along as we navigate the highs, the lows, and the unexpected twists that come with searching for our next home on the water. It's an early start this morning as we pack up the boat, lock the doors, and get ready to hit the road. A boat has recently been listed, and from everything we've seen so far, it's interesting enough that we simply can't ignore it. When you're searching for a specific type of boat, most listings are easy to decipher and say yes or no to in the first read over. Sometimes it's a layout, sometimes it's a condition, and sometimes it's just not the right fit for the kind of adventures that we're dreaming about. But every now and again, a boat appears that makes you stop scrolling. A boat that has you studying every photo, reading every line of the listing, and wondering if this could be the one. And that's exactly what has happened here. So this morning, we're jumping in an Uber, heading to collect a rental car, and setting off on the long drive down to the Gold Coast for an in-person inspection. Right now, we're feeling pretty excited. On paper, this boat has a lot going for it, and it has some features we haven't seen very often during our search. And the more we've looked into it, the more curious we've become. We're hitting the road with a lot of excitement and optimism and a whole lot of questions. The only thing left to do is see this boat in person, inspect it from top to bottom or bottom to top, and see if this boat could potentially be the one.
These are always bigger than you think.
Wow.
It's got all the seats. Hey. Be good on fuel.
What do you think, Charlie girl?
Hey?
1, 2, 3.
Yeah. Really?
This is cool.
It's tiny. It's better be real good on fuel. It's tiny.
How forward is your seat?
And it's only 734 k's. It's actually not too bad. But yeah, this is tiny, isn't it?
Beep beep.
Yeah, I'm tiny for my legs. I can't get out. I like to get out now.
How you going back there?
Not very well.
Why?
My legs stuck near the door.
Oh.
Yeah,
Okay. On our way
On our way.
to Brisbane. I think we're so far forward. Ooh!
I can't even see.
Sorry, Charlie. How are you going? You got plenty of room for your feet.
That is the flat white. This one here
What
is
is-
the chino. It's quite full. It's quite heavy. Wow. Do you want this to go with that? No? What? This car's huge.
Where's your eye height there?
Yeah, I know. I've got to look down to look in through the window here. Yeah. The person who was last hired this car must have been really small because the mirror was right down, and like if I sit up, I've got to like crouch down to see out the window.
Oh, you moved it back now, but Sam was also really far forward.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, there's a thing here I'm looking. we could get us back to a normal height.
Yeah, your eye level is coming down.
Oh, it's way better. Yeah. Oh man, I was like, wow. I'm not normally too big for most things. I'm lucky with my size. For flying and traveling and that, I really feel sorry for people that are big. You know, because seats are getting smaller and smaller nowadays.
Yeah, and then you came in this car and it's really, really tiny, and this one's really, really angled, and that's really, really high.
We booked a hybrid, and I didn't realize. I didn't know they made hybrids this small nowadays. And it's great. It's perfect. We wanted a hybrid because there's a bit of a fuel crisis going on at the moment, and we wanted to do our part. And yeah, not use too much fuel and give it a go. And this is perfect for that. It's tiny. Perfect.
Big old storm coming through.
Yeah.
Oh, it doesn't even really show. The camera's catching all those trees.
Oh,
We can't
really?
see those trees. Yeah. Wow. You can see better through the GoPro than you can go in the windshield.
Maybe I need to drive that way.
Alright guys, so good morning, or actually it's probably
Afternoon.
It's 1 o'clock. It's good afternoon, guys. So we're currently on a road trip. We're headed from Gladstone and we're midway. We're headed down to the Gold Coast. And we're about to go look at a boat.
We are, yeah. So it's pretty cool. We're we've had to take a bit of a hit and put Emma in the marina for a little bit and stop the cruising so we could focus on this new boat and the next phase. When we were down in Tasmania, we saw some awesome boats, and the last one we did put an offer in. The owner's being pretty reasonable. He's come back with another offer, and then we're sort of doing the math and trying to figure out whether it's still going to be worthwhile. And one of the things that we realized when we were doing the financial math of all the work that we want to do to it to turn it into the boat that we want, one of the things we didn't factor was time.
Yeah.
It was going to cost us a lot of time to get it where we want it to be. Now, for our next phase of cruising, we want to go off the beaten track, and so the type of boat that we're looking for is fairly robust, and that's why we're drawn to the commercial ones. It's a cost-effective way of getting a lot of fluids, getting a robust, easy to work on vessel that can be taken off the beaten track and into remote areas and stuff like that. But they're just a little bit too far away from
The end product
of where we want to be. So we are pivoting, and we're going down to the Boat Works in Gold Coast City Marina, where there's heaps of boats, and most of them there are all ready to go. Now, the problem with the ones that are ready to go, well, I mean, we're hiring a car, we're coming down, we're going to check them out, but I don't know if I'm 100% sold on the idea, because it turns out I'm fairly particular in the things that I like, and they're not always mainstream. As in when it comes to, say, air conditioning on a boat. My favourite air cons are the Mitsubishi Industrial Split System air cons. They're really efficient, they're really cost effective, you can get them from most places in the world and really easy to swap. The average air con on a vessel, if you get 10 years, you're doing fantastic. You only get about 15 years maximum on land. You're doing really great if they're 15 years old. So, things do break on boats due to the soil environment, and it's easy to repair and fix.
Yeah.
Nothing against all the fitted systems on boats. They are fantastic, and all ducting and all of that, but when you got to work on it, it's not cost effective, it's not easy, and they do look a lot better, no doubt, and that's why I guess they're so mainstream, but turns out I'm not that mainstream.
Yeah. So we went down to Tassie, we looked at quite a few boats. We have looked at modifying and doing a full refit sort of thing and making
an awesome boat, by the way. So want to do it still. My goodness. But we worked out it would take us nearly 2 years, and we're ready to go cruising now.
Yeah. So where we are, we're sort of weighing up if we were to buy a boat, one of the boats that we absolutely love down in Tassie, what if we bought it and then we refit it. How long will that be? That's so many years, probably, like, to refit, let's say 2 years. What if we bought a boat now that's ready to go? We buy a new boat. New boats, to anyone that buys a new boat, you always want to modify it. So let's say we spend 3 months modifying and doing a few things that we want to do to the boat, and then we go off cruising, and we can just go cruising now, which is really what we want to do. And one of the things that is also, it weighs heavily on me, like in my mind, there's a lot going on in there, and I just think, oh, Charlie's 5 now. We really only have until she's 18, like, and then she flies the coop, and like,
She doesn't have to.
she doesn't have to.
Charlie, if you're watching this, she's right behind us. You're more than welcome to stay. No worries.
They're like 5. She's 5 now. What if we spend 2 years at 7? Then we only have like 7 to 14, so it's 9 years left with her. Like, let's go cruising instead of we're on a boat. But
not only that, then there's certain times in her life where she's not going to want to go off the beaten path. She's going to be with friends, boyfriends, whatever it is, socializing, and you know, we have to respect that as well. We want to live an alternate lifestyle, but we have to respect what she wants to do in her life, especially once her opinion gets stronger and stronger. And she's got a pretty big opinion now, for being honest. So yeah, it's definitely getting there.
she lets us know which room on each boat. She's like, I like this room will be mine. Boats in Tassie are the ones that we're looking at refitting, how much time they're going to be, how much time out of our lives it'll be, versus what if we look at something that's pretty much well done.
Yeah.
Let's go look at a few of those boats and see.
And Kate likes the well done boats a lot better than I do, so we've seen the boats that I love, now we're seeing the boats that she loves, and we'll meld in the middle. But you know, in the world, you know, we've been looking at boats and sitting at home for a while, but we really want to start this next phase, so we want to get out there and make it happen. So that's what we're trying to do actively. Get the juices flowing, get out there in the world, find the boats so we can keep on moving forward.
Yeah. And we did make an offer on one called the Iron Maiden, and a lot of you guys might be thinking, what happened with that? What happened with the offer? What happened, like, he did come back to us?
Yeah.
Where are we at? Is the boat completely off the table? The boat is not completely off the table. We actually talk about it quite a few times a day, I think.
I love the boat.
It's a beautiful boat. We both love the boat. We think she would be amazing, and we can see the vision of her, like what she is now. We'll give her a new paint job, we'll do the modifications that we want, and we have in our minds like what she will look like, and she looks amazing. But also to do that, to take her from where she is now to what we want, will be a few years, a lot of work.
And the biggest problem is that from where the boat is now, it's so far away from where we want it to be that we won't be able to do it on our schedule. Like, there's things it's going to need. It's going to need aircon before we go up north in the middle of the summer. It's going to need so many other things, and that's the biggest thing. I don't mind the work, but I don't want to have to do the work. I'd rather, you know, do it on our schedule. We meet some awesome people that are going out wide and checking the reefs. We'll be like, yeah, we'll come too. Rather than go, no, I need to get this aircon in before it heats up. Or, you know, the paint job, I know I need to get it done before the boat starts rusting too much more, or anything like that. And, you know, yeah, we're more than happy. Well, me personally, I'd love to do a boat up and do it exactly the way I like it. But I'd rather do it on our schedule where it's livable now. That was the whole brief. And that we could go, and then we could do it up and make it better at our leisure. So if life brings great opportunities, we can seize the day with them, go and do them, and then come back. Where that boat would make us do it up, because it's not where we want it to be right now.
Yeah.
Outside toilet, we'd have to change that straight away. We don't want Charlie going outside of the boat to go to the restroom. She's more than capable, and I'm sure it's perfectly safe, but for us, we like to lock her in at night. And I don't know if that's ever going to change. But,
she's going to be 18 and still locked inside.
Yeah.
Lock that door.
But here we are. So we're driving down to the boat works. We'll show you the boats we're going to check out, and we'll let you know how we go.
Yeehaw! After 8 hours on the road, we're finally arriving at the Gold Coast boating heartland. It's always exciting pulling into these yards because some of Australia's most impressive vessels pass through here. Between the Boatworks and Gold Coast City Marina, this precinct is home to hundreds of boats, world-class refit facilities, a couple handfuls of brokerages, storage yards with boats for sale, and some of the biggest marine businesses in the country. It's also a place that's pretty special to us. The Boatworks is where we bought Emma, and we've spent plenty of time here when we were searching for Emma. We spent many weekends here touring boats and wandering the yards, dreaming about the future adventures we might have. So it feels a little surreal here to be back again, not to work on our own boat, but potentially find the next one. And somewhere in these yards is the vessel that has brought us all this way. We were on Eyfinger. This is where we were years ago. Eyfinger, facing this way. Used to walk down this ramp.
Crazy. It's changed so much now. Spent so much money on infrastructure here. It's huge.
We're going down memory lane. Eyfinger, facing that way. We've got a bet going on what this is. I say Nordhavn, Sam says Celine, and I think we're both wrong.
It's a
Alright, enough boatyard sightseeing. As much as we love wandering around looking at boats, that's not why we've driven 8 hours to get here. Somewhere in this marina is the vessel that's captured our attention, that has us packing bags, hiring a car, and making the trip south. We've seen the photos, we've read the listing, and we spent plenty of time talking about what this boat could be. Now it's finally time to step on board and find out if it lives up to the expectations. Let's go.
Go this way, darling.
Alright guys, so something's happened.
Yeah, we came down to see a boat, and unfortunately there's a few other people that have the same taste we do, and the owners have accepted someone else's offer on the boat, and so we didn't come down here just to look at one boat, but there was that boat in particular was our favorite boat and kind of the main reason we came, and we've lined up a few other boats to have a look as well.
We've contacted the broker, let him know that we're coming down, coordinated with him, and like this is just one of those things that can happen when you're boat searching. Like, yeah, it's a beautiful boat, which is why we liked it, and someone else has liked it, and unfortunately, if you do just make a really good offer, the owners can accept, and it's just one of those things. So wasn't meant to be.
No.
But on the bright side, we are in a gorgeous place with lots and lots of boats.
Lots of boats. It's easy to spend hours here. We've actually spent a couple of hours walking around already, and not done yet. But the other boat that we're down here looking at is down this way.
Yeah.
And essentially, one of the things we're looking at is if we're going to go a bigger boat with the fuel crisis and that, having sails and going back to our roots in that sense is fairly advantageous. So this one here is built in New Zealand in Whangarei, my hometown. Yeah, so she's a 72-foot Warwick fiberglass. Yeah. The downsides of it for us and where we want to cruise is a lot of the areas we're going to that are higher latitudes or lower latitudes, sailing isn't always the best, you know, so...
The fuel comes into great value where we want to go,
yeah.
But we have toyed with the idea of this one right here.
Yeah.
This is Concerto. Concerto? Concerto.
I call it Concerto, but I feel that's very Australian. And I'm a Kiwi, so I don't know how that works, but anyway.
We've looked at 2 boats now named after musical things, and both times we've mispronounced stuff, so I think it's Concerto. Concerto, we don't mind what you call it. It's not our boat. Seagull, whatever.
72-foot Warwick, it's got 2.7 metre draft, and for us that's one of the big downfalls. And one of the reasons we were sort of steering into the motorboat region is because it serves us a bit better. If we do end up going up through Antarctica and a few places like that, in the season it's mostly motoring anyway. This does have a new engine in it, which is one of the pluses. Another thing that we wanted an enclosed bridge. It does have a steering station on the inside here, which is quite nice. Nice big master cabin, walk around bed. Yeah.
Pilot house, which we really like. If we're gonna go back to like go a monohull,
Yeah.
we really like this. And by pilot house, we mean that it's got like an upper level here, the black windows, and you come down and there's like a seating area. And a table, and then you come down lower and there's another seating area, so you can like sit there, drive, people can hang out with you, you can do work and school work, and you can look out the windows and keep an eye on everything that's going around. And it's pretty, I like it on anchor because you can see what's going on, what's happening in the anchorage. But one of the things we really do like is like it's nice. Look at the davits. The davits are pretty cool.
And in behind here is stairs and access to the water. We're very aquatic based, so although we want an enclosed cabin to go to colder or even hotter climates, we still, you know, we'll be going through areas that's swimming, and you know what I mean.
It's got a lovely behind this tender. Yeah, the nice sugar scoop.
So if we're going up around the top through Japan and up and around to Antarctica, it's not the best boat. But for coming back through the Pacific, this boat would be absolutely perfect. For those long miles where the sails will come in handy, where the fuel is a little bit harder to get in French Polynesia and stuff like that, this boat would come into its own through that section of the voyage. So yeah, we're gonna jump on board, see how much work she needs, and yeah, take it from there.
Very nicely. Yeah. Well, things haven't exactly gone to plan today. The boat we drove all this way to see has been snapped up by another buyer, and our plans for the day have changed rather dramatically. And to be honest, we're feeling a little disappointed. So, in an effort to lift our spirits, we've decided to do what every boat owner does when things don't go their way. Look at boats we definitely cannot afford, because sitting just over on the next pontoon is a Nordhavn. If you could afford anything in the world, what would it be?
Potentially this boat right here. I love the Nordhavn 68. I think it's a great size. They're just beautiful. Half wheelhouse, nice big toy area on the front. Yeah. This is a nice boat. Rub and strip, practical there. Nice big scuppers for a seaway. Even this is not varnished. Low maintenance. Amazing.
Low maintenance.
Nice little area at the back. This would be the boat.
If we could afford anything in the world, this would be it.
Yeah. It's beautiful. But not the one we're looking at, so let's keep moving and find the one we're looking at.
Yeah, move on before we sell a kidney.
Yeah.
Oh, guys, check this out. Look behind me, it's a boat. But look up, there's a boat on a boat. That's a full-on boat there. That's a boat. Boat on a boat. And he's still dreaming.
I like this. I really do. I like it. Don't you?
Yeah.
Just under 20 meters.
Stabilizers.
Yeah, and anchor stabilizers, yeah.
Easy clean too, like you just wash everything. Just wash it down and bada bing. This is a gorgeous boat.
Really is. Really is. Maybe one day.
One thing that I'm finding really cool is that 3 years ago we got Emma hauled out here for our marine survey when we bought her at the Gold Coast City Marina, and it's changed so much. It's really become like a yachty haven over here, and it's just neat to come back 3 years later and just, I don't know, maybe I'm getting old, but or older.
We're all getting older.
But it's just neat to come back and be like, wow, it's really progressed, and yeah, it's just a neat haven of boats and everything.
Yeah, it feels like it's swapped with the Boatworks. The Boatworks used to be the Yachty Haven, now it's more a super yacht haven, and this is the new Yachty Haven.
Yeah.
So one of the options that we explored was this boat here. It's an ex-charter boat called the Kimberly Pearl. And the reason we were looking into this one is it's really cost effective. It was going to auction. Unfortunately, the owner had gone into receivership, and it was at a point now where it's essentially just a shell, and we would put a new main engine in it, and then the inside is fairly well done up, and it's quite a functional platform for us to take over from there. What did happen is the owner's withdrawn it from the auction, so hopefully he has found some funding to get it back doing what it was doing, which was charters through the Kimberleys. But it is one of the things we were looking very closely at. It only got pulled from the auction like less than a week before the auction was to begin.
Yeah.
So we were prepared to bid on it, and we're sort of exploring all sorts of options at the moment, because when it comes, if you have enough time and money, you can make any boat work. But we've found, well, we don't have unlimited money, and we don't want to spend heaps of time. So hence the Warwick being all ready to go.
Well, that wraps up another chapter in the search for our next adventure boat. Not every trip goes according to plan, and this one definitely threw us a few surprises. But that's all part of the journey, and we're excited to keep sharing it with you as the hunt continues. If you enjoyed this video and coming along for the ride, give the video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss what happens next. Trust us, the boat search is far from over. A huge thank you to our amazing Patreon supporters and YouTube members. You guys help keep these adventures possible, and we genuinely couldn't do it without you. Thank you guys so much. If you would like to join the J Crew, get early access to videos, behind the scene updates, and help support the channel, check out the links in the description box below. Memberships start at just $2 a month. Thank you so much again for watching, and we will see you all same time next week. Bye everyone.